Ministry journey for me was a little bit unexpected. I didn't think I was going to end up in ministry. When I finished high school, I started studying a degree at university, and I got about 2.5 years in and decided that it just wasn't for me. So I was in a bit of a place in my life where I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time, Crossway was offering internships. So I thought, look, it's something I can do. I'm a volunteering ministry at the moment. So I stepped into an internship and ended up in that for about 2.5 years. And it was incredible over that time, the way that God really changed my heart. So I never saw myself working in ministry. I never saw myself as a leader or thought that I would be able to do anything like this. And yet over the journey that I went on, God did something in my heart. Incredible. And it wasn't just in my heart. He worked in my life. He broke off a whole lot of things that were hindering me and really showed me that I did have leadership potential and I could do it, and that I could step into the calling that God had for me. And so 16 years ago, I stepped into ministry, and I'm still here. When I first stepped into my ministry role, I was excited about it, I was nervous, I still lacked a little bit of self-confidence, if I'm totally honest in the space. But there were so many things that I needed to learn in that early journey. The first couple of years were particularly tough for me in ministry. We had our supervisor at the time, the lead children and families pastor left at the time, and it took 12 months for them to find a replacement. And over that time, there was lots of division in the team and just some pretty tough stuff that happened. And I needed to navigate that through really by myself at the time. So it was a pretty rough start to ministry. I did feel alone in it ultimately. I was working in a team context, but there were two of us really who were put in charge, and we just didn't see eye to eye, and there were team who were put in positions they should never have been put in and all that kind of thing. So it was very isolating, feeling like I had to navigate a really, really tricky space. I was pretty broken, if I'm completely honest, 12 months into that journey when this new pastor arrived. So they got an external person in to sit with us, which my supervisor at the time said, look, meet with this counsellor, that'll be wonderful. So I was in this situation where this counsellor ripped me to shreds, and I got to the end of that hour and I'm like, I'm just done. Like, I can't do this ministry journey anymore. And the new supervisor who had come in gave me space to talk about it, gave me space to process it. And it was a real wrestle between me and God at that time, whether I was going to still pursue this ministry route or not. And, you know, God did some incredible things in my heart at that time, and helped me to keep going, and, you know, helped me to learn to forgive and all those things that I needed to continue in ministry. So it was during a Melbourne lockdown, and look, that was pretty tough for all of us being in lockdown. And I'd come back from maternity leave just a month before we went into lockdown, and I had a little baby at home, and I was still trying to navigate how do we do ministry online and work out team dynamics and all that kind of thing. And I sat in a workshop that was run by the Baptist Union of Victoria, and they had one of the team from Partners in Ministry speaking in that context. And he was talking about the whole idea of coaching and supervision. And I was sitting there listening to that, and I went, man, that's exactly what I feel like I need right now in my leadership as I navigate parenting and ministry and navigate this pretty difficult season. So I got in touch with Partners in Ministry, just contacted them via the website and just said, I'm looking for somebody, and they put me in touch with my supervisor, Annie, and we went from there. I'm not sure that I knew what to expect. I just felt like I needed external input that was different from my ministry supervisor at church and my context. I just needed somebody else who I could bounce ideas off and who was for me, which was amazing, which was exactly what happened. So I met with Annie on a monthly basis online over Zoom, and before each of our sessions, she got me to fill out a bit of an update report of where things were at, and it provided a beautiful context for us to have a conversation as to where I was at ministry, the things that I was thinking, the things that I was wrestling with or struggling with, and it was amazing. Partners in Ministry has been really wonderful in this kingdom growth space for me. I think particularly coming out of lockdown, there were a lot of things that we were trying to work out in this season, what programs to run, what ministries to run, how to rebuild team, how to rebuild relationship. You know, we'd set up this system that we were working with that we had to shift. that was different to what we were doing, but also hybrid, online, in person. So to have somebody that I could talk to about how we do ministry and the impact that was going to have and the next step for us as a team was just invaluable for me. And it's been amazing to see the ministry impact that has happened since. I honestly don't know what I would have done without Partners in Ministry over the past 6 years or so, 5 years that I've journeyed with them. They've played such a critical role in my growth and my development. And even in seasons that have been tough, being able to step back and go, actually, this is a season where I need to focus more on myself and my own health and what's happening around me. I am so much more sure of who I am as a leader. I'm more sure of the calling that God has placed on my life. I'm just less insecure, I think, in the space, and really more committed to the calling and the mission that God has given me, that He's placed on my heart. And yeah, I want to see His kingdom expand. Having somebody who walks alongside me and is external to my ministry context, who can talk with me about things, process things, who's my cheerleader and my champion as well. Like, there's no bias in past Partners in Ministry. They're there for me and to develop me as a person and to develop me as a leader and to challenge me as well. I love that my supervisor does that. She also challenges me and helps me to be better and helps me prioritize where I need to prioritize and all that kind of thing. I'm honestly a better person for having Partners in Ministry in my life and as part of my leadership. Absolutely get involved with Partners in Ministry. Having somebody who walks alongside you, who advocates for you, who cheers you on, who's your listener, who understands ministry and your context, well-being outside, and can speak into that, can give advice. It's just incredible. So I would recommend that you invest in that, invest in your own leadership, because it's going to change you and it's going to change your ministry, and it's an incredible investment. So do it.